Hi Capricorn, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2021 love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is we'll look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll actually pull some oracle cards with some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot. On the right side, we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And also keep in mind, while it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right is the other person's energy. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have a few cards that came up. We have the Six of Arrows, which is Aquarius energy. Princess of Arrows, which is the equivalent of the Page of Swords, Queen of Cups, which is Cancer energy, and Eight of Staves, which is Sagittarius energy. So, interesting mixture of energies here. Usually the Six of Arrows represents moving to calmer waters, and with the Princess of Arrows, it looks like there was a bit of shyness around communicating with this person. Looks like you actually had some feelings for them, and possibly you wanted to mention the possibility of entering into a committed relationship with this person. Now, with the Eight of Staves, I feel like this is saying for some of you actually did start to communicate around those feelings. After, it looks like there was probably a little bit of back and forth in your minds about, okay, do I say it, do I not say it? But I do have to say for some of you, maybe you didn't, because while the birds and all of this and the card make me think of communication, possibly even via social media, given the fact that for you guys, Sagittarius is your 12th house, could just be saying that this was a lot of thinking in your head about what to say and when to say it, things along those lines. But it definitely looks like there was interest in entering into a serious relationship with this person in the past. Past energy on their side, we have Judgment. So it's possible that this was someone that you were already with in the past. And, maybe for whatever reason you started thinking about them again and wanted to reach out to them. Because usually with the Judgment, it represents something coming back to life. Some of you, this could even been someone that you had kids with, but that's what I'm seeing there. It's definitely a rebirth type of energy. So, technically, even though the Mercury retrograde just started, this could even just be saying that with the retrograde starting up, that might have been what set all of this into motion. All right, present energy on your side, we have Contemplation. So this is the equivalent of the Hermit in traditional tarot, which is Virgo energy. So yeah, for some of you, there could be physical distance between the two of you, but either way, I still feel like this is saying that for a lot of you, you might not have communicated these feelings to this person. Looks like you still think about them a lot, but given that his back is turned to the cards on the side, I feel like this is saying that for the majority of you, you may not have communicated directly to this person how you were feeling. All right. In the present position on their side, we have the Stars. So this is the major arcana card for Aquarius. So yeah, this usually represents a wish fulfillment type of energy, a type of course correction too. So if there was some separation between the two of you, it looks like they do think that being back with you would be the right thing to do. But again, we see the back turn there, so it's almost like your backs are turned to each other, and you're thinking about each other, but I'm not necessarily seeing indicators of there being actual communication from either side regarding the feelings. All right, and future energy on your side, we have the Three of Coins, so this is actually Capricorn energy here. And usually this represents a collaborative energy when we look at the artwork in traditional tarot, for example, with the Three of Pentacles. But here we see that she's alone, and if we look at her facial expression, she doesn't necessarily look too happy about that either. So yeah, I still feel like this is saying that there's that readiness on your part, right, to want to build something stable, something long lasting. But again, I feel like the communication part is still what's lacking. And maybe because you're not hearing anything from them either, you're assuming, okay, well, this is what I want, but they're not there to build that with me, so that's the primary thing that I'm picking up on, is that it seems like there's a definite desire between the two of you to be together, but neither side seems to be communicating that to the other. And like I said, for some of you, this might have been someone you were with in the past already. Things might have broken up, and you guys might still think about getting back together, but neither side is mentioning it. But we'll see what we have on the future position on their side. We have the Moon, Nine of Wands, Ten of Swords, and the Empress. So a lot going on there. The Moon sometimes could point to confusion, illusions, just emotions in general, sometimes being a bit overwhelming. And we did just have that full moon in Pisces recently, but given that this is in the future position, this might even be pointing to timeline, pointing to possibly the full moon in Aries that we'll have toward the end of Libra season. That Nine of Wands energy, usually that's an energy of being guarded, feeling like you fought some battles and just almost expecting the next one to come your way. So it's a bit of a pessimistic energy in that regard. Ten of Swords, obviously, this looks like feeling that the connection is over, right? Like I said, it looks like there was some separation between the two of you at one point. And just given the overall theme of the spread, what I'm feeling here with this Ten of Swords, this makes me almost feel like they might be thinking that you're already in another connection. I'm not seeing any indicator of that on your side, but I'm just thinking about if we look at the artwork of her looking distraught and we see two people in the background there. So again, I feel like the theme is repeating. I feel like there's a lot of assumptions on both sides. Now with the Empress, I will say this represents an open and receptive energy. So I feel like that represents them being open to reconciliation, which doesn't surprise me given that we see the Stars card there, which, like I said, is like that wish fulfillment. But I feel like this is saying that they would be waiting on you to actually initiate that. Now, I don't know if there's something in your history that would lead them to feel like you should be the one to come forward, but that's primarily what I'm seeing anyway. All right. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have Temptation. So this is actually the equivalent of the Devil card in traditional tarot, which is the card for Capricorn. So this could be giving some of the clue anyway as to what might have happened, given that we see the figures being moved away from the cards on this side. So if there was a split between the two of you in the past, that might have been what it was. Maybe you were tempted by another connection at the time, and that might have been what caused the split. For others of you, this could even just be saying that for whatever reason, like I said, most likely the retrogrades, maybe this has you thinking of this person from your past, whereas maybe that wasn't the case for a while, but could go either way. Like I said, for some of you, I feel like maybe 70% of you might be saying that that could have been what caused the split in the past, that maybe you got pulled away to another connection. Now, to be fair, this is Capricorn energy too, so it could just be saying maybe your work, your career might have pulled you away. Like I was saying with this card here, this made me think that there could be physical distance between the two of you, so maybe you pursued an opportunity elsewhere, and that could have been what caused the separation. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing with that. And bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is usually an energy of feeling stuck. Now, interestingly enough, with the artwork here, this could even say that maybe even if they are still in another connection, the figure right here in the background actually looks a lot like the figure from the Devil card in this deck. And again, Devil energy representing Capricorn energy. Could just be saying that they still frequently think about you too. But with that Eight of Swords, I feel like there's saying that they feel like they can't take action toward it for whatever reason. So definitely interesting. It looks like there's mutual desire, but something's preventing the two of you from actually communicating around that. All right, so we'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. First, we'll see if we get anything from the Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck before we started recording, and what we're going to be looking for is some unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. Traditionally, I've just taken jumpers for this, but even if we haven't gotten jumpers this month, I've just been pulling cards anyway. So we'll see if we get any jumpers first. In worst case, we'll just pull a card. All right, so like I said, first we're looking for unspoken messages from you to them. All right, nothing came up. So what I'll do is I'll just put the deck down and just give me a few seconds to tune in, and we'll pull a card. Okay, I'll take this one, and now we'll see if we get any unspoken messages from them to you. Okay, there we go. So on your side, we have fear. It says, I want this so badly, but I'm afraid of getting hurt, so I self-sabotage. Now, this energy, I will say, it at least makes me think back to what I was talking about with the past energy here on your side, as far as, like I was saying, for some of you, look like you'd build yourself up to possibly communicate to this person, right? With the Queen of Cups expressing a desire to enter into the connection with them. But then what I was mentioning was with the Eight of Wands, since for you guys, Sagittarius energy is your 12 tells, I felt that at least for some of you, you might not even come out directly and say it eventually. So that's what this primarily makes me think of. Of course, that temptation energy at the bottom of the deck could also point to something there. So maybe that, didn't even mean that you went to another connection with someone else. It could just be that you might have found some way to move away from the connection because you were getting a little bit worried about getting hurt. And on their side, we have thoughts. It says, I've been in my head about you constantly. So, yeah, I mean, that definitely aligns with what I was feeling in this connection, too. Like I said, it seems like on both sides, there's that desire to be together, but neither side seems to be communicating it. So, those make sense to me, but hopefully that resonated with you, too. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Same situation here as far as I pre-shuffled this deck, too, but I'm just looking for one card with general advice, and then we'll wrap up. All right, that doesn't want to go back in the deck, so we'll see what we got. All right, we have flexible. There's the artwork, and the number is 19. So let's see what it says. Okay, it says teachability, open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. The oracle's message: a tree's roots are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane, whereas a rigid structure like a building would come crashing down. Consider how the tree remains supple and secure when everything around it may be in shambles. This is how you need to be now, willing to learn new things, teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Common sense is important, but so is an open mind. Stay curious, stay open, stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible with you too. So, interesting message there, especially that last part where it said others will be more flexible with you too, because that made me think of the Empress energy, which, like I said, could represent them entering into a more open and receptive energy. And then when it was talking about a rigid structure like a building, that made me think of the artwork we see with the Three of Coins. So that could be some potential clues as what could improve the situation there, but hopefully that resonated with you. The relationship message says, in every relationship, it's important to be open to new experiences and learning new things. Letting go of rigidity is what's required right now. You don't always have to be right all the time, do you? It's okay to come to a happy compromise. You can still get your needs met. It's a beautiful day when you meet halfway. The appearance of this card in a reading could also signal that you have met someone new who may not be your type, but who will turn out to be so special that you can easily release your old ideas about what sort of partner is right for you. Be flexible. You'll be happy you made that choice. So an interesting message there. I will say, in a way, it doesn't even, when it talks about compromise, I don't even feel like this is one of those situations where you're dead set on having things your way. But I just feel more like it's both sides seem to have the desire, but neither side is coming forward to communicate around that. So, in that regard, maybe this retrograde could be helpful in actually getting one of you to step forward and communicate what's been on your mind. But hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.